Hey everybody, it's time to take a look at yet another ocean arcade conversion. Yes, there is a veritable ocean of these around. And this time it's Space Gun, released in '92. And yet again we have some very nice ad and cover artwork by Bob Wakelin. And it's interesting to note that they've actually sized down Wakelin's artwork and put in a lot of pretty hard to read red text on the top. And of course they mention Operation Thunderbolt there because they really have to make sure everyone knows that this is another arcade conversion. And they even include a picture of the arcade cabinet, so you know what you're missing if you're playing this with a mouse. But the home conversion actually supports the Trojan light phaser. Don't think it was particularly common on the ST, but you could use it to play this game. And the arcade original was released in 1990 by Taito, and it's a first-person rail light gun shooter, a bit like Operation Wolf and Operation Thunderbolt. And in Japan, the arcade version was the second highest grossing dedicated arcade game of '91, and it was also a major hit in the United States. Not so sure about Europe, but I'm pretty sure it worked quite well here too. Hell, even the gaming press liked the game. And the arcade game is pretty gory and dire, and the gunplay is really satisfying. It feels so good blasting the limbs and heads of these alien scum. And if any extraterrestrials could hear me now, they'd probably think I was completely mental. And they wouldn't be entirely wrong. And I think the game mechanic where you can blast the heads and the limbs of the aliens and all the gore that goes flying around was one of the major reasons why the game was so successful. And of course also the fact that the game supported simultaneous two-player co-op and each player had their own light gun. Awesome stuff. And the game also left some pretty heavy inspiration from the Alien films, even down to the artwork on the flyers. A bit surprised no one got sued here, but who knows, maybe they did. And I found the arcade version to be a lot of fun to play, even though it does get a bit hectic controlling it with a mouse. And I also think the game is designed for two players, so finishing it in one player mode without spending 5 million credits is probably gonna be tricky. But anyway, let's dive into the ST version, shall we? Ocean Software yet again, and Taito, in glorious harmony. And yeah, the development was handled by Images Software. Oh, even more logos. This is worse than a modern game. Yeah, that's one freaky looking alien. But it does look really nice, and I've played the game for a bit already, and it's pretty technically impressive. And we can switch between music and sound effects, but I think I'm going to stick with sound effects actually. 2039 AD, not very far into the future. Man begins deep space exploration. However, there are many unknown dangers in space. Like bad mouse control, maybe? And the load times for this game are pretty bonkers. There's a long wait. And I think the game came on 2 double-sided discs. Here we are, facing our first friendly alien. And we're going to blast his arms off, and also his face if possible. And as you can see, this runs pretty decently well. I mean, sure, it does slow down. Let me just spoil that for you. Further ahead, when there's more monsties, the game definitely slows down, but I'm pretty impressed with this. Make sure we shoot these things, because they will give us upgrades. But we also need to shoot the actual upgrade. Otherwise we won't get it. And we need to not murder the the humans here, preferably. Oh, damn. Yeah, and it runs at a decent speed, even when there's like 2 pretty sizable aliens on screen. But as you can see, oh yeah, things are slowing down. And it's got this rather annoying mechanic when you fire too many shots, the gun kind of overheats. So you have to fire in bursts, really. Oh yeah, there's some pretty bad slowdown right now, but still reasonably impressive. And I have shot the ammo. Could you please? Suffers a little bit from the same problems as Operation Wolf. Sometimes hits just don't register. But it definitely feels better than Operation Wolf did. And that was a pretty lengthy load. Pretty cool that we got this motion tracker thing. I wonder why it froze there, not sure, but it just froze up. And some of these friendly aliens will quite happily continue to attack you even if their head is missing. So maybe they got their brain in their legs or something. And there's face huggers. Oh god, it's slowing down. We can blast the glass here. But we don't... Oh, we do get shutters. I didn't think we would get the shutters. Yeah, the slowdown is pretty bad here, I must say. And we can switch weapons, I believe, by pressing the right mouse button, if I understood the manual correctly. But now I've actually have a second player here. I don't know why that happened. I'm supposed to be able to switch weapons. Oh yeah, you can press space to actually move back and forth. That is pretty interesting. That was actually mentioned in the arcade, but I didn't see it mentioned in the home conversion in the manual. Kind of weird. Why would they not mention this? Or maybe I just missed it. So pressing space has you going back and forth here. As you can see, there's guts flying all over the shop here. Space guts. Thanks to my space gun. So pressing space will have you go backwards here as well, right? Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's going to be pretty useful if you just want to be subjected to lesser or fewer aliens. Because the enemies will spawn at certain points, of course. And if you back away from the spawn points... Can I shoot your legs off? The game will become slightly easier. Okay, your legs are not very sensitive to weapons fire, it would seem. The hit detection seems a little bit wonky at times. I mean, I've been firing at these filthy crabs for quite some time, and nothing happens. Why don't you die? I mean, you're just puny facehugger crabs. And you've got the same kind of issues as Operation Wolf. You're kind of firing, and there is a little bit of a lag. You think you hit something, but you don't. So, yeah, still kind of a similar problem as Operation Wolf. Just quickly back away. Oh, the aliens spawn anyway. Oh, God, and we have some problems with my weapon overheating here. And some of these aliens, you're going to have to shoot their limbs off before you can actually destroy them. And I'm not sure if these guys require me to blast the... legs off, and oh yeah, now it's getting pretty painful here. Yeah, I think game over. You received a fatal wound. Yeah, well, that's one way of putting it. Or I got eaten by someone from another planet. The huge amount of lag from the mouse really makes this pretty hard. I keep overshooting all the time and missing the aliens. And you see here, I'm not hitting that thing, although I'm aiming clearly at it. And, yeah, it's definitely similar to the problem with Operation Wolf. And I'm not entirely sure if this is partly due to emulation or it's just a problem with the game. And I still don't understand why pressing the right mouse button has me activating the second player. It's a little bit annoying. Let's just deal with this scum here. Oh, no, go back! Go back! Give me that thing. Hopefully if I use the space key correctly here. I'm hitting that thing! I mean, it's ridiculous! Why am I not hitting it? The hit detection is really not amazing. But making use of the space key here, oh god! So hard. This thing is just bonkers. But making good use of the space key, change direction key, should make your life a bit easier and hopefully introduce less lag. Please, can I have your limbs and your face? Thank you. Gotcha this time. I mean, come on! 3 times I have to blast that ammo or weapon power up. And I still haven't figured out how I changed my weapons. It says right mouse button in the manual, but that doesn't seem to work. But yeah, it's a pretty technically impressive game. I must say, nice scaling stuff going on here for an ST, and it runs better than Operation Wolf, I would say. And somehow I activated the second player again. I was just looking for a key to allow me to get my extra weapons. Stay away from me! Yeah, the graphics do look nice. And I do like the sound effects as well, or I should say maybe I would have liked them back in the day. I think I would have been fairly into this game back in the day. Oh god, that was quick. Some of these guys just immediately start humping your face. I did not give you permission to do that. How that works, and oh god, I think I took damage there. Oh, let's go the other way. No, please. And the slowdown makes this just impossible. Okay, the Alt key seems to do something. Seems to change weapons. But it also seems like it's activating the second players. That is a little bit weird. Let's just have you burn. Okay, so Alt key it is then. Good. Warning, eh? Ah, it's warning me about the load times. Okay, here we are. Let's back away. We can deal with these filthy crab spiders. Oh no, not you. Let's just barbecue you just a tad. Please, I'm pressing buttons here. Oh man. Oh god, yeah, now we have a pretty severe slowdown. And I'm trying to blast these guys' arms. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Please, go backwards. It's even hard to see which way I'm going right now. Because it's so sluggish. Please, fire! God. Yeah, it's a little bit painful. Way too much going on here. And you'd think that the slowdown would make the game a little bit easier, but it really doesn't. It just makes it hard to see what is going on. It just feels like I'm missing sometimes, even though I'm clearly hitting. And yeah, the hit detection is suffering. I'm not sure if this is due to the terrible frame rate or just wonky hit detection in general here. Oh yes, game over. Yeah, this is really clunky. I must admit, it's technically impressive, but so laggy that it just grinds to a halt at times. And I'm not sure what to do with these guys because they will not die. I'm shooting them in the face, I'm shooting them in the arms, and they're just like, nope, we don't care, sir. Very rude. I really don't know what you're supposed to do. I did read that the Amiga versions seem to rely very heavily on power-ups, unlike the arcade version. So maybe you actually need to have power-ups to kill these guys, or maybe I should shoot them in the big toe or something. It is a bit annoying, I must admit. And the manual is really no help, as usual. Am I dead? Oh, look at this absolute horrific mess. Oh, yes, we've got space crabs. Let's focus. Firing at the limbs this time. Really focus, I mean. As you can see, if I set fire to them, they just die immediately. But I don't have an infinite supply of fire, unfortunately. Ah, yes, let's just do the ice thing. We somehow got past that. I'm not sure how that happened, but it happened. I'm happy. Give me the power up. Give me the power up. Give me the power up. I'm firing at the damn power up. Come on, I'm firing at it. Okay, squeak. Yeah, oh, this is painful. This is so slow. Would I have been okay with this back in the day? Probably not, but I think I might have still played it for a bit just to kind of experience the graphics because they do look nice. So, what do we do with these guys? Are we going to please burn or something? I would be eternally grateful. I just want to get rid of you. Please, die! Oh, and they are in such a rush. But at least it's a little bit less painful now when there's only one sprite on screen. But I can't get the little shit. He just refuses to stop running back and forth. My god! And I still can't figure out what I need to shoot to kill this guy with my standard puny weapon. And the arcade game wasn't like this at all. All weapons would make damage to the enemies, a reasonable amount. This is just like, feels like something they've added to make the game last longer. Because this is how important they couldn't add enough variation. Did you just leave? No, he's coming back. Should I perhaps trim your fingernails instead? Oh, god, yeah, this is a little bit pants, I have to admit. Yeah, this isn't great, I have to say. And each level is also very repetitive. There isn't much variation when it comes to enemies and the graphics. I think part of the problem might be that this game will run on a 0.5 meg machine, so they probably use up a lot of memory to pre-scale the graphics to make them move nicely. And I think that leaves less space for enemies and more graphics in the system memory. They probably should have made this game for 1 megabyte machines only, I think. But hey, let's have a look at a review before we end. And ST Format's Ed Ricketts wasn't terribly excited about the game, and he gave it an overall of 32%, and he wrote, "It's mindless and repetitive nonsense, but not the fun sort of nonsense Lamatron offers. The asking price is ridiculous for such 5-minute fodder, and it's time Ocean asked themselves if they want to peddle such rubbish anymore. You certainly won't want to buy it." And he also wrote, "Dull, dull, 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 dull. Not very exciting. Dull." And the game is in fact so dull that they added the wrong screenshot to the review. I think that picture is from Quick Snacks and not Space Gun, right? And I suppose I have to give him some points. I mean, I did find the game technically impressive, but the slowdowns and clunkiness just destroys the fun of it. It's just a laggy mess, unfortunately, even though it felt better than Operation Wolf that I played a couple of episodes ago. So maybe the game deserved a bit higher rating than 32%, but yeah, it's definitely not great. And the limited variation per level and the long load times also kind of destroys the fun. But hey, maybe it does get better further on. I don't know, and I don't think I want to find out. So I'm just gonna say thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and as always, hope to catch you next time. Cheers!